What's up, guys? Coach Keto here. Just wanted to talk to you guys about prevention, right? Prevention. And it's kind of appropriate to do so as I go on my walk because I live in upstate New York, right? Albany, New York to be specific. And it's March 16th today, so we are on the verge of turning seasons, going from a tough winter to spring, right? So as I'm walking my dog, there you go. As I walk my dog, Rocky, I notice a few things about a couple of the yards. So as an example, this yard right here might not be the best view, but they have, here you go. Yeah. They have a ton of leaves on their property. So what does that tell you? It means obviously they have trees on their property, but what it also says is during the fall, before the snow came, when the leaves were falling, they decided not to rake their leaves, right? So all the leaves fell from the trees, then it snowed, and now when the snow melts and the spring comes, they have to do all the raking of the leaves before they can start mowing the lawn and planting the flowers and all that. So by skipping that step in the fall, they now have to work twice as hard in the spring, if that all makes sense. Now on the flip side, I'm trying to find one. Here's a house right here. Let me turn it around a little bit. On the flip side, this house, right, you look over my shoulder, there's no leaves on their property, right? There's no leaves on their property. And they got trees. I mean, see, they got the trees. So they have a lot of trees, but they have no leaves. So obviously, they put in the work in the fall. So now that the spring is here, when they're ready to plant their flowers, when they're ready to mow their lawn and all that, they don't have to worry about raking all the old wet leaves. So what the heck does this have to do with recruiting, right? It's really simple. It always goes back to this two things. Primarily, I want to talk about your grades. Grades. That's all I'm going to talk about, actually, right? I'll save the other point for another video, but it's the grades. So like if you're a ninth grader watching this, or you're the parent of a ninth grader, or if you're a 10th grader watching this, I need you guys to treat your freshman year, even your sophomore year, as, if I can use as a metaphor, treat that like your fall, right? Your freshman season is fall. And what I mean by that is during that season, you have to lay the groundwork, right? You got to put in that work, get the foundations. You want to get off to a fast start. But you also want to finish your freshman year strong grade-wise, so that come your sophomore year, come your junior year, you're not cleaning up an old mess, right? A lot of you guys, you wait until your junior year to get serious about your schoolwork, your grades. And you then spend so much time your junior year trying to bring your GPA up. So not only are you taking harder courses, but now you got to score higher in them to make up for the work that you did or did not do as a freshman or a sophomore. And I just want you guys to understand something about these core classes. And again, if you don't know what a core class is, then I'm just telling you right now, you're not a serious recruit, because you need to know the core classes, what they are. You should know what your GPA is in those classes. And then you should know what the sliding scale is for the SATs. If you don't know that, that's basic stuff, then you're not a serious recruit. And parents, you need to be all over your kids about this stuff. Not in a bad way, but just give them a reality check. But anyway, a quick high-level overview of this is, if you take English for an example, right, as a freshman. Now, as a freshman, you score 78, right? You score 78 in that class. So by the NCAA standards, your core GPA for that 78 is a 2 points, right? A D equals a 1 point, C equals 2, B equals 3, and A equals 4, right? So obviously you want to get 3s and 4s. So think about this. As a freshman, you score a 78 in a class, a 78. Now, is that terrible? No, it's not. I mean, it's not great, but is it terrible? No, it's not. It's not terrible. I'm not saying that. But think about this for 1 second. That 78 gives you a 2 again, right? Just imagine if you got 2 more points, just 2 more points. 2 more points. That goes from a 2 GPA to a 3 in that class. You see the difference? Same thing now. Maybe you're a really good student and you decide, I got an 88 in this class. This is good. I'm happy with my B+. Okay. But just imagine if you got a 90, 91. That goes from a 3 to a 4. And why is this so important? Why does this all matter? Because at the end of the day, now going back to the sliding scale, right? The sliding scale. If you end up, let's say, and I don't know all the numbers off the top of my head, but let's say you're a terrible test taker. You're not good at taking ACTs. You're not good at taking SATs. That's okay. I was a terrible test taker, right? I mean, you got to practice. I'm not giving you an excuse, right? You got to put in the work, but I'm just being honest with you. I'm keeping it real. You may not be a best test taker. That's okay. But just about this. If you have a 3.3 GPA in your core classes, you only have to score X on your SATs. But if you have a 2.8, you have to score Y. You have to score higher. So the lower your GPA is, the higher you have to score on your SATs. So isn't it easier, rather than trying to score this ridiculous score on your SAT or your ACT, how about you just work diligently to raise your core GPA in your core classes? Does that make sense? And that goes all back to raking the leaves. Raking the leaves in the fall so that you can reap the rewards of a easy spring. It's laying the foundation as a freshman, as a sophomore, banging them out, building up those core classes, getting those 3 O's, getting those 4 O's in those classes, so that when it comes time for you to be a junior, senior, you're not stressing, you're not tripping about, are you going to be eligible? It gives you more options in the schools you can consider. So just think about that. I gotta run because Rocky's going crazy. He sees a dog up here. So I gotta get out of here, but I hope that helps. But just, again, it's all about prevention. Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I don't want you guys looking up, your senior year, looking back, saying, damn, I wish I had. There's no worse words in my opinion in the English dictionary than I wish I had. And I don't want that to be your reality either. So let's make it happen. Remember, college recruitment starts with you. What are you doing today to earn an athletic scholarship tomorrow? Go compete.